friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to create a personal notes feature within an app on Adalo. But this kind of concept will work across the board for any sort of application you are building. The use case for this feature is if you have, let's say, if you're a small business and you are creating a no-code app that will help streamline, let's say, your inventory, right? Everyone needs to learn like hardware and parts about the items that you carry, and they need to be able to take their own notes to better remember said part. They can have their own notes about this particular item that no one else can have access to. This could also work for a personal CRM. If you are building a social app or community and a user wants to take notes on another user, maybe they want to note down where they met, what they talked about. This is a great way for them to keep track. We are going to focus on these 4 screens that you see here. The way the UI right now is set up is you're going to have a list, right, of some sort. And this list can be for items or users, parts, anything, assignments, projects, tasks. For this particular kind of use case that we're showing you right now, it's called a personal CRM feature. So these are going to be our members. Now, a user will be able to click on one of these and go to that person's profile. That profile will have, the basic information about that person. Image, cover photo, name, organization, location, bio. This is all customizable to whatever you are trying to create. So imagine this being an item in your inventory. You can have an image of that part. You can have the actual name of that part, that inventory. You can, list the supplier, let's say, where it's sourced, whatever. This is all very flexible and customizable to whatever your business or your app is going to need to show. For the purposes of this use case that we're showing you, it's going to be a personal CRM. So it's going to be about a specific person. They're going to be able to view all this information and then click on this add button, which will take them to this modal here that allows them to add a specific note that will then take them to the back to this page, and then it will display that specific note here underneath where it says personal notes. Now, when they have done that, they can also, once they have created a note, they can go ahead and edit by clicking on this pencil button that will take them to this next modal here you see on the right. That modal will have the note pre-populated, so they can kind of go in, just, if it's a typo they need to fix, they can do that, or if they want to add more notes, they can do that. And then that, once saved, will take them back to this page with their note updated. And we will demo that, but first I wanted to walk you through how to set up your database. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to come into our database. In Adalo, a database is called a collection, and you are going to use 2 specific collections for this particular feature. You're going to use users and you're going to use personal notes. Now, if you're doing like projects and tasks, assignments, or inventory, you're going to need another collection called parts or inventory or whatever that collection it is that you are using. So with that said, we're going to walk you through our collections for users. All of this is extra, so feel free to ignore. You just need to have email, password, username, full name for the purposes of this demo. Obviously, if you want other things, feel free to list them out. And then here's where we want to bring your attention to. Underneath users, you're going to have a target user and personal notes. And then you're going to have a creator user, personal notes. So the difference between these two is, let's say I'm user A and I'm viewing this screen, and this screen is only showing user B's information. So I'm going to meet, let's say, Billy, and this is Billy's information, and I am going to write down where I met Billy and, the vibes he gives me, what have you, and that's where my personal notes is going to live, right? So let's go back to database. Target user is going to be Billy, so person B. Personal notes, creator user, I'm the creator user of that note, so I'm person A, so underneath that'll be creator user. So that's how you differentiate between having a target user and a personal notes creator user. So these two are all very important, and you'll see why in the next step when we go to create the visibility permissions for this. So just keep in mind for that. Now for personal notes, we kept it very simple for the purposes of this demo. You can add a lot of different content in here, like I said before, but you just need the content of your notes, and you need, you're going to see the link to target user and creator user. Now, I want to take a step back and explain the way this is set up. So basically, the idea is person A can have a lot of notes about other people, right? So that only one note about that particular person can belong, or that note about that particular person can belong only to one person, and that's the creator user that wrote that note. So for this one, you're going to click many personal notes to one user, and we call that a one-to-many relationship. So you're going to also create between these two a relationship where it's the creator user has many notes about other users, but those notes all belong to this one creator user. So I hope that makes sense. And the way you would do that relationship is you'll click on users, right? When you first click on here, it's going to look like this. You're going to click on users. Oops, you click on users. You scroll down. You're going to click on add property, relationship, and you're going to say you're going to add relationship to personal notes. And then this is where you'll say a personal note can only have one user, but a user can have multiple personal notes. That's the one that you want. You don't want this one, and you don't want this one. You want this one. And then you want to name this. So as you create each one of these, I highly, highly recommend that you name these so that you know which one is which. And once you've named this one, under user, make sure you go to your personal notes and you name that one as well, so that you don't just end up with a bunch of user tags here or user relationships. This tip alone right here will help you so much if you just make sure to name your relationships on this side and this side. And this is definitely something that you pick up over the years as you build lots of no-code apps. Okay, so you're gonna name this. Okay, let's say I just want to go back. This one was target user, correct? So you're gonna come in here and click on this, and you're gonna call it target user or what have you. I already have one, so I want to be able to differentiate that. But if I only had one, this is what I would do. So I'm gonna delete this. But that's how you would name the two, and then you're gonna go ahead and create one for target user and one for the creator user. Okay, and then if you delete it on one, the other one will obviously get deleted as well because they're one and the same. Okay, so that is how we have set up our relationships. So now we're going to set up our visibility. To create that note section, the most basic way is to come here and select custom list. So you're going to type in custom list. And you're going to come to this components area right here, click on that, and click on where you want this list to be. Now, this list is going to be like in threes. You want to compress the bounding box really small so that it only shows one. Okay, now you're gonna be left with this. This is the original. This is the one that I'm walking you through building. First thing you're going to do is make sure you say, what is this a list of? You're gonna say personal notes. Then you're gonna come to filter and you're going to click on logged in user because I'm the logged in user and I need to be able to see this personal note. And I'm going to click on personal notes creator user. If your note is too long, you definitely want to hover over your item for 5 seconds, maybe. It's not gonna take 5 seconds, but just hold it over for a while and see the full name. So that one was creator user and this one is going to say target user. We want the one that says creator user. Then you're gonna come here and click on custom filter. So once you do that, you add custom filter. Then you're gonna go and say, I want to do the personal notes, user, and email. So what does that mean? You're gonna go to target users, email. So that, when you click on that, it gives you current personal note, user, and email. So you want to match this note to this person's email so that you can see it. Is equal to. So you can keep it at is equal to. And you're going to click on here, and you're going to say current user's email. So when someone creates a note, and that note is, the target user for that note matches the person that's on the screen, that information will show up on here. That's exactly what we just did here. So on the top, you are filtering based on the creator user. On the bottom, you are filtering based on the target user. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to pause and repeat this specific part of the video so that it makes sense to you. Okay, so how is this going to be set up? To create basically a note here, or the text here, you can here and click on text and click on text, click here, type in whatever you want, style it however you want. This is all like really basic Adalo stuff that we're not going to go over in detail. If you need help, there are other videos out there. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that's how you would create this and this. Now, this one, you're going to allow a user to go into the screen right here, which lets them create a note on that person, right? So this one will link to this modal, and it will pass this data about this specific user to this page. Now, when they click on here and they enter in whatever note they're trying to do and they save, that information is going to get saved and then they're going to get linked back. So now we're going to take a look at this. It's really easy. This part, when they click on this button here, the input for this guy, and definitely hot tip, is to name all of your inputs so you know what to refer them to when you are linking these up. So you're going to go in here and you're going to click on this, other components, personal notes input. I already did it once. I'm going to delete that. Then you're going to say the current user is going to be the target user and your logged in user is going to be your creator user. Okay, what that means is when you write a note about someone, so you're on their page, you're going to write a note about that person. So you're going to come into this and you're here, you are ready to save. You save that person's information. So their information, this note is going to be linked to this person and you because you created it. So you're the logged in user and you're going to be under the creator user. Okay, and then when that is done, they're going to get linked back. So there's a link back to this page and the content is going to show up. Okay, so the way this works is now I'm person A, I wrote something about person B or user number 2, and I wrote a note about user 3, but only I can see user 2's notes about user 2 on user 2's profile. No one else can see that note if you have set this up correctly. User 3 is not able to see anyone else's note but their own note. And then if I, being user 1, am on user 3's, so remember the screen right here, you should have user 2 and 3. If I click on user 3's name instead and I go to their profile, I should only see my note for that person. So just to show you my test information. So you'll see that I have created a few users and I have created a few notes, basically 2, right, for each one of these. So this one is user 1's notes about user 3, and the target user is user 3, and the creator user is user 1, and the target user 2, or for this one, it's user 1's notes about user 2, and that's, so target user is going to be user 2, and user 1 is the creator, which is me. Then we can view this app. Give it a hot second, and you're going to see that I'm already logged in as user 1, right? So this is where I can check that who I'm logged in as right now for this specific demo. I'm going to go into members, and you can see I can't see myself, but I can see everyone else. And I can go to user 2, and if I scroll down, you can see that I can see user 2's information. Ignore this because this is me setting it up and showing you. Okay, and then if I go back and I go to user 3, you can see that I see user 3. If I go to user 2, you can see I see user 2. Okay, so that's how that's set up. So then, okay, let's see. This one should say login user's personal note and user email is equal to current email. Oh, and then to get the content to show up, make sure once you have the visibility, okay, once you have the filter set up, make sure you click into this to actually update the content. So personal notes content, and then the subtitle, I usually just do like date, and then I say the current date or updated date, whichever. And then if you view app again, you'll see whatever we just did is going to reflect. And this is just for the purposes of demoing it to you. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna click on that, and you'll see that these two are the same. Now, to allow our user to update said note, we can add a little edit icon, and that can be whatever you want. They can click on the edit icon, and you'll see how this edit personal notes modal shows up. Then they can say that. So you can see how this specific note has been updated, and only for that user. Okay. So the way this is set up is this pencil icon goes to edit personal notes. They will then, that screen will pass data here to the screen. The default value for this is the current personal note content. And to do that, you can click on this current content, right? Same thing. Then once they are able to, they can type whatever they want following that. This will save that information. So just to show you, they're going to now update whatever is in this text field. Again, I highly recommend naming all of your components so it's easy to figure out which one is which, and then save the personal note. Do not change either one of these, done, and then link back. So that will show the profile screen again. Okay, and that is how you create a personal notes feature on Adalo. Super helpful feature if you have a small business, if you have a social app or what have you. Last thing that I would say is it's highly advisable to have a delete button somewhere on here that's under the edit personal notes modal, so that you don't have to double confirm. But this is like a design choice. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.